Are we gonna both fit in this thing? You have to put your hand in there, and then I have to keep it down, right? Here, just put it up. Okay, here we go.
Try.
Okay, now zip it up. All right, it's not gonna work. Let's just take it off.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Yvette and I are here to review another Sundance movie together, and I'm talking about the new twisted horror film, Together. Starring Dave Franco and Alison Brie. Yvette, tell the people about it.
Sure. So, making his feature film debut, Michael Shanks brings us a new, unique take on body horror. The story follows a long-term couple who recently moves away from the big city to the countryside, and that's when a supernatural encounter starts to transform their long-term relationship, and I mean that metaphorically and quite physically, literally, too.
Yeah, it's true. And this is a film that we are going to tiptoe around the plot a little bit because similar to last year's The Substance, this is a body horror thriller where some things are just more enjoyable when you don't anticipate it. But I found this to be a lot of fun. It's a fresh take on the genre. Not only is it unrelenting in its terror, but it's also really smart in how the horror premise doubles up in telling this story of this main character's relationship within the film. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, I thought it was a really clever parallel that's being made. The couple displays signs of codependency, and the body horror that is used in the film is so creative and really plays into the overall theme surrounding their relationship.
I also couldn't help but see some comparisons with certain people I know, aka us. It's not a complete match. Well, we've been together, like 10 years now. We've never tied the knot, but we aren't codependent, really.
Technically, we are disorganized, fearful, avoidant.
Oh, that's right.
Attachment style, if you know about that stuff. But we are pretty glued at the hip sometimes.
Well, speaking to being glued at the hip, talking about the supernatural element of the movie, I don't think it's a spoiler to say, but if you don't want to know this part, just close your ears and go la 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 for like 10 seconds. Go. Yeah, but basically, that's what basically happens in the film. It's a lot more than that, so I won't ruin any more. But Michael Shanks has a lot of fun with this premise, and it's often really, really funny, but more often it's really scary. And this film played in the midnight section at Sundance, and it really is the perfect Midnight Madness type of film because this film is meant for big audiences to enjoy.
Yeah, one of the most fun I think we had at Sundance was in this screening. You know, there was jump scares, the whole audience is squirming simultaneously, laughing together in our seats. It was just really kind of a community environment. We're having a blast. I loved it. You also mentioned The Substance earlier, and yeah, there's some really fantastic body horror, I guess, makeup work on display in this film.
Very David Cronenberg-y.
I feel like we're in our body horror era, and this is yet another standout.
Yeah, there's some really creepy, sometimes strangely beautiful imagery as well. And let's talk about Dave Franco and Alison Brie. They have really great chemistry together. I didn't know this prior, actually, to today, that they're married in real life. So if you watch this movie and you think these arguments feel kind of real, well, now you know why. I think Dave Franco, in particular, this may be my favorite performance from him. He puts a lot of physicality into the role where I could see through his performance just how strong this force was pushing him. I thought he was great.
Yeah, I didn't know they were married either. I think this is a perfect role for Dave Franco. He has a very specific vibe, in my opinion, and this role really suits his strengths and that vibe that he displays.
You know, aside from codependent relationships, I think this film serves as a big metaphor about being in like a long-term relationship and getting to that point where you have decided you have found your other half. So are you going to marry yourself into one union, or do you start that excruciating, nearly impossible process of separating? That's kind of what I got from the film.
That's one point of view. I'm curious to see how everyone else interprets this film because there's quite a bit of layers here.
Yeah, my only real criticism of the film is I do think in the final act the film tries to make sense of this supernatural thing, and I really felt like I didn't really need it. I'm not even sure it entirely connected the dots in a way that I found entirely satisfying. I was perfectly happy keeping this mysterious phenomenon mysterious. Like, I didn't need this plausible explanation. However, like I always say,
You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's Ryan's favorite saying.
No, I don't. But yeah, I
true.
still really thought this movie was a complete hoot. I give Together a very strong 8 out of 10. It was bordering on a 9 for me for a second. It was bordering. I was like, I'm having way too much fun for an 8. This is a 9. But then it settled back to an 8 by the end. But yeah, Yvette?
Same, 8 out of 10. I think that's an appropriate vote because we're voting together. Well, there you have it. Neon purchased this film for a rumored $17 million.
Yeah, good one.
One of the biggest sales out of Sundance. I think it's a really good home for it at Neon.
For Neon.
Yeah, and I think this film is hopefully going to do really well. Let us know once you watch it whether this was a film you enjoyed and what you think. We got more Sundance film reviews from our favorite films coming your way, so feel free to hit that subscribe button. Follow us on social media if you want. And what else is there?
Thanks always for watching, and until next time, we'll see you at Sundance. And
the Oscars.
I don't know if it has the right effect. I think it has to be zipped up in the middle. I don't know if it's going to work.